Hello, this is welcome to Shanker's Astro channel, and today I'm going to talk about sun. As I talked about Saturn, sun, some techniques and some tips for prediction. Basically, Bhrigu techniques. Now, sun is a very important planet, and in each of my video, I will tell some point which perhaps would be very interesting, and which you could apply. Other things you would be knowing. Now, sun in the Nadi system is a very important planet. It is basically the most important planet in your horoscope, and if the sun is well placed, it can take care of a lot of negative issues which are there in your horoscope. Sun, of course, deals with your vitality and your self-confidence. Most important is the self-confidence. Sun gives the confidence within you, the urge and positive confidence to go ahead and work. So it's resulted also in the sign of Aries, and that's what the sun is all about. And sun in Bhrigu Nadi system, Bhrigu Nadi technique, also takes care of issues of your children. I mean, if you have to see the number of children, you have to see the planets around sun, the planets which are second and 12th to sun, planets with us, which are with sun, planets which are fifth and ninth to sun, and then you have to evaluate which are actually strong enough to give a child, and then you can also see other things also with it, depending on how sun is placed. Now, an important thing which I want to tell, and that is the reason I was making the video, I want you to understand, sun as a planet is a king, and a king does not work. A king is a king. I mean, it has its own ego and its own, it's like it is the head of the system of the organization, or the country. King is a king, and the king basically works with his advisors. So here advisors would mean the planets which are with it, the planets which are ahead of it, planets which are behind it, planets which are seventh to it, and the planets which are fifth and ninth to it. So that is what sun basically denotes as, that it works with advisors. If there are a lot of planets around sun and they are strong, it makes you a politician, makes you a king, it makes you a big businessman. So that is what sun is all about. Sun is not very good for marriage and married life. It is, if you also know the story of Surya and in the Vedas, I mean, it had problems. Even while the ceremony, one of the ceremonies is going on, and also, as sun has problems. Sun is not very good for marriage, for relationships and marriage. It is not a great planet. It has got a separative effect only for that. But it is the most important planet when you have to see how much you'll rise and what kind of activities which will make you to rise. As I told you, it's the king. Now, sun, very strong, also has a connotation which is again important, and that connotation is that never think that sun exalted, it's a, sun is exalted, and the man is great. The man knows, he is ultra pure, and he cannot do anything wrong. He is just no. A king knows all the methods of the war. I mean, that is what known as the art of war, and it also knows how all the methods of how to cheat people, how to deceive, how to get along with the people of different mindsets. So sun is a planet which is, as a king, also knows the art of deception. It also knows all the art of war, and it also knows how to play games. So that is what a sun gives. So this whole thing that sun is exalted, the person is very good, does not fall in line. And sun in Libra also, I feel it is in the house of Venus, so that's one part of it. And sun in the house of Venus gives you a kind of a sun with Venus. Now I'm a little bit telling about various planets with sun. Sun with Venus will give a person who is, who's got an ego and who has got a personality which is like a show-off personality. He tries to project himself much more than what he is, and tries to project himself what he is not. That is what happens when sun is with Venus. Sun with Mars and sun with Jupiter is always very good, because they are friends and they make you go ahead in life depending on which sign it is placed in. If it's a fiery sign, it's good for politics, doctor, so many other things. If it is in an earthly sign, bankers, people who are doing research. If it's an airy sign, it's for communication. If it's in a watery sign, it is for anything which requires thinking, thought process. Thought leaders also would come into that. So it depends where Sun is. So Sun with Jupiter and Mars is very good. Sun with Rahu gives a person, gives a person one chance where he can actually, if other planets are well placed, like Sun with Rahu, aspected by Jupiter, or it has Jupiter at the right place, or it has an Gajkeshri yoga, it just shows that a person will capitulate from a very low level to a high level. Like he could be an executive in a company and suddenly become a Rajya Sabha MP. So such situation may happen when he becomes an MP of the Rajya Sabha, things to that effect. So that is what happens when Sun is with Rahu. But it is not good for non-life things. It may not be good for your father, because Sun is the Karak of your father mainly, and so it is not good for your father. Sun with the Ketu again depends on the sign which it is placed, and Ketu is a flag, so it can actually place a person very high in life. Ketu is also all about mathematics, so it gives a person a brain, a person, a king, a person. So if a sun is exalted, it has Ketu with it. It makes a person very intelligent in mathematics, in actually thinking 5 to 10 years ahead. It is a combo of a with businessman. I'm talking about Sun with Ketu, exalted Sun with Ketu, because very easy to explain that. Now, Sun with Saturn, of course, has a lot of connotation. Because Sun represents government servant, right from a lower government servant to right to the king, is all represented by Sun. And other planets, as I told, are advisors and give it kind of a shape, give it a kind of a color, and makes one do something. The Sun with Saturn, Saturn is like a low-paid person. Saturn is the guy who does service. So Sun with Saturn makes a person do service. Now, what kind of service, whether he'll be an IAS or he'll be a clerk, that will again depend upon what is the situation, what is the next house of the Sun, what is the house behind Sun, what are the planets with it, and so on and so forth. So, also look at things as per the Vedic astrology system. But Sun by itself, does all this. It itself gives a lot of indication on your father, on your government servant, on your self-confidence. And I repeat, Sun is a very important planet, where a Sun, if it is exalted, it can take care of, a strong Sun can take care of a lot of negative things. And I think Sun in Leo is actually sometimes better than Sun in exalted. That is my view. Sun in exalted is good, but Sun in Leo is also a very, very good thing to happen. Sun and Moon together is like the king and queen together. But if the king and queen are just together, and the lord of the house with the king and queen are sitting, are not strong, or 6th, 8th, 12th, or the depositor is not with them, then the king and queen are unable to do anything much, because the king is the king and queen is supposed to be the prime minister. So when the king and the prime minister are together, you need somebody to actually you need somebody to control the whole thing, environment. So you should have the lord of the place with the sun and moon are sitting. The lord of the house should be very well placed, and the sun and moon does not create much of a problem. In fact, it gives rise to a Raj Yoga. I mean, sun, moon in the house of Gemini with Mercury there, it could be a good thing to happen. One should also see where the planets are placed, which planet is ahead of which planet, and that makes a lot of difference. Like sun ahead of moon and Mercury could have a different connotation, and moon and Mercury ahead of sun could have a different connotation. So these are the things which are finer things, which one does learn by experience, and that is purely by experience and by seeing a lot of horoscopes. So it's already 9 minutes, and I'll wind up this video. This was about sun and certain things which I thought I should tell, which are different, which are not known, which can be used by you in your predictive astrology. Do tell me, do write in your comment box, do like my video, do share my video. Thanks a lot. Bye for now.